I'm Robbie Cumming, and this is my narrowboat. I've been living the Canal dream for years. This time, I'm heading out on a journey across the north of England. One that will take me over the Pennine Hills. Starting in Wigan, I'll be travelling through historic mill towns like Blackburn, passing through Leeds, along the River Ouse to York, and on to Ripon at the outer reaches of our canal network. There'll be plenty to see. Industrial heritage, cracking landscapes, plus a few bumps and scrapes along the way. Jump on board for my Canal Boat Diaries. I'm right at the start of my great Northern Canal adventure, which I'm so excited to share with you. We're going to see some incredible sights, but I'm a little bit apprehensive about the locks ahead of me. 23 I've got to do today, and yesterday was the hottest day of the year so far. Oh, nice bit of shade there. Hopefully I can find some more of that. For this leg of the journey, I'm tackling Wigan's locks before heading through Chorley, Blackburn, and arriving in Burnley with its famous embankment, a wonder of the British waterways. About 40 miles in all. But right from the start, things aren't going to plan. I'm in trouble, even before I enter the first lock. I've lost power and control of the boat, and I'm being pulled backwards towards the lock gates. I've not even got going, and already I'm flooding my own boat. Not ideal, Robbie. I'm also getting buffeted around by a lock as a boat's coming through, so I could not be in a more perilous location right now. I'm convinced the problem is with my propeller. This feels familiar. I've been here before. Ironic considering all the former cotton mills we're going to go past. It does feel like some kind of cotton shirt or something. Ah! Be careful here. Most of the water goes back in the canal rather than in the boat. It's like I've got someone's t-shirt out of the propeller, but actually not cotton. It looks more like polyester. Right, I've turned it round. Let's try this again. First lock of the 23. Let's go. I like to think of myself as a southern northerner. I've grown up down south, but I feel more at home up north. It's probably quite a strange thing to admit, but it's true. The people are fantastic, they're very open, and also the scenery, just unbelievable. I've just arrived at the next lock and bumped into some fellow boaters. Can you help me up through these locks, please?
Yeah. We were hoping to find another boat anyway to pair up, so yeah, it'll be
That's
good.
good.
Yeah.
Looks to me like we've got a couple of volunteer lock keepers joining us as well, so I think we're all quite happy about this. Hello! Well, this makes life a lot easier for me. And I need the help. With 23 heavy locks over a few miles, this is hard work. Each one can take up to half an hour to get through. This is where the climbing starts. It's so hot right now. I've come inside the boat and it's even hotter. It's showing 32 degrees centigrade. I can taste the sweat running down my face. I just need 5 minutes in the shade on my little deck chair. It's a hot one. Got a bit of a situation here in that the ground paddles, the main way of letting water in and the safest way of letting water in first, they're both out of action. Both stopped working, so we're going to have to let the water in through these gate paddles instead. As you can see, creating quite a lot of action down there. Come down to make sure the covers are closed, and I'm in the thick of it now. Quite refreshing, really. Lock 73 has had a few notable incidents, even before I turned up, including this poor boat here. This one got completely stuck on the back end. You can see it's quite a long boat, and yeah, they've had some real trouble there. With fast-flowing water, undercurrents and heavy gates, things can go wrong quickly when you're working a lock. Just looking up at the lock that I'm about to go into with our two boats there, and there's a group of kids swimming in the lock. And it's something they're used to doing, but it's not advisable. That's dirty water. You wouldn't drink it. So yeah, not advisable. Brute force wins again. Nice one. Good work, guys. This is it. I'm inside the last lock of the 23. I'm so happy. We've made it. I've had help from other boaters, volunteer lock keepers. Oh yeah, I certainly couldn't have made it without them. See ya, guys. Bye. You may notice there's a white line painted on this bridge, just right of centre. It's Canal code, highlighting the deepest channel of water, so you don't run aground. And that's especially useful if you've got a deep drafted boat. I'm not really that experienced with cooking, but I like to give things a go. and I love experimenting with whatever I've got left on board, and most of the time I'm forced to. And yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Of course, the beauty of cooking for yourself is that there's no one around to tell you got it wrong, so that gives you a lot of confidence. Straight away I can smell the type of chilli that I've added. It's just not the right thing. Certainly fill a hole anyway. It's not too bad. Time for bed. It's another absolutely spectacular summer day. The fact is, my life has changed. Last year, I decided to stop living full-time on the boat and spend more time living in a house. I feel good about now having a base on land as well as having this boat. It has been really difficult living on this thing, and it's lonely, it gets really lonely. So I've got my family now, and I've got all these wonderful sights around me on the canal to enjoy as well. So I count myself pretty lucky. But at heart, I'm still a canal explorer and love discovering new places and historic buildings, like this former textile mill. Cowling Mill was designed by local architect Edward Potts, and he was responsible with his partnerships for around 200 industrial buildings in the north, and this one is one of the most impressive ones I've seen. It's derelict, but still quite atmospheric. I love dilapidated buildings. They are quite sad, especially when there's nothing happening with them, but nonetheless impressive to look at. Further up the cut, production lasted for a century in Canal Mill, built for Richard Smethurst, a pioneer of Chorley's cotton industry. This boat has allowed me to explore my country, improve my mental health, and not a night goes past where I'm not dreaming about the next canal that I get to explore. With my water tank topped up and spilling over, I can cast off. My next challenge is Johnson's Hillock Locks, considered by some boaters as the most charming set of locks in England. Oh yeah. The gentle bywash makes a great place to dip my toes in the water. In between a couple of locks on this flight is this. It's a 1/4 mile post, used back in the canal carrying days where tolls were paid and they needed to know exactly how far the boats had travelled. This breaks it down not just to the mile but to the 1/4 mile, so it shows you just how rigorous the toll system must have been. just stopped here at Withnell Fold because I wanted to show you something. There's a mill here, and from about 1844 it was producing paper, and that paper was some of the highest quality, and much of it was used in newsprint as well for Preston, Bolton and Liverpool newspapers. And this is actually a model village, so I'm going to go and check it out. Model villages were built from the late 18th century by landowners and business magnates to house their workers. Here, the paper mill owner, Thomas Blinkhorn Park, provided his employees with a cottage, a garden, a wash house and a privy. This canal-side community had a pretty good standard of living by its day. Woke up this morning and went to use the tap in the bathroom. I realised that, hang on, I've got no water. I've got no... What am I going to do? So I've just been on the internet trying to find a solution, looking in forums, looking on videos, and I'm still none the wiser because every one of these pumps seems to be a bit different. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. And I've even taken apart some bits that, I don't know, I think I need some help. Thankfully, I always keep a supply of fresh drinking water to hand. And with a call for help from a marine electrician, I'll muddle through. My destination today is Blackburn. I've got 6 locks to do before I get to a suitable mooring. And it really does sort of level out your soul and all the scenery around me. Can help with stress levels as well. As I enter the outskirts of Blackburn, I'm about halfway into this leg of the journey. I've still got to navigate Gano Tunnel in Burnley and cross the town's famous embankment. This is Ewood Aqueduct, a single-span stone arch that forms part of a high embankment carrying boats over the Darwen Valley.
Can't actually see much from where I am, but I'm sure it's impressive. The boat's going forward, but there's not enough water beneath it to give me any power, so I'm stuck until more water feeds through.
I'm literally stuck here.
No way of getting out.
Shallow lock pounds are a common problem in hot, dry weather. It's something I've encountered before. So hot.
Luckily, there's someone from the Canal and River Trust who manage the waterways. It's just by chance popped up in his van, so hopefully he'll help me get through this mess.
By releasing water from higher up the flight, it should refloat my boat.
Right, we've got some movement. The boat is free again.
The Leeds and Liverpool Canal is special. The contrast, the scenery, some of the towns that you go through. It's not all picture postcard though. A lot of people see the canal as a dumping ground, which is a real shame. My home for the next few days is Enham Wharf. This place became a busy industrial hub when the canal opened in Blackburn. Today, part of it is a restaurant, and a mate of mine has kindly let me moor outside. It's a nice spot to explore the town. This is the Victorian Gothic Cotton Exchange. It was built at the height of Blackburn's prosperity in 1865. And if anything was going to show how important an industry was to a town, this has got to be it, hasn't it? It's like a cathedral. I've just come up this side street because I want to visit a local man who's got quite a few ingredients that I could use in my cooking, and I'm really excited to find out how. Oh wow. Hello. Just come by on my narrowboat to pick up some ingredients.
Oh yeah.
I'm a very amateur curry chef. So what should I have in my cupboards?
All the time.
Just to make sure I've got the right things.
This thing here we use coriander, turmeric, chili powder, everything mixed in there. But all you need to put that in, that's it. We'll make it a roast and stuff like that.
Oh right, so roast meat.
Roast, yeah. This is very easy.
Season
very,
it with
very
that.
easy to use. Very easy to use.
Do I have to leave it?
And it's marinate over 50 hours, and then you can cook it, fry it, whatever you want to do, grill it. We're quite good seller.
Perfect. Yeah, because the issue I have is that, where would I keep all these things? It's a very small space.
A very small space over here.
Cheers. Oh, this is amazing. All I need now is a beer. Here's one I started drinking earlier. I'm leaving Blackburn with my curry making skills much improved. The weather today, it's something different to what it was like at the start of this journey. It's just drizzly, rain's coming down. A lot of boaters actually do have either an umbrella or a pram hood, which is a thing that extends over the back of the boat, but mine's not designed like that, and I prefer to be out in the open, This is one of two aqueducts that cross the M65. They were built by casting heavily reinforced concrete troughs. Once set, the ground beneath was excavated to create the motorway cutting below. Not so easy to stop. Approaching Burnley, there are a few industrial areas, and then between those you get these rural views. Looking out to the hills, to the moors, miles into the distance. What have we got here? We've got Boatyard, Canal River Trust working boats. We've got visitor moorings, 14 days, services, shower block. I've got a moor here, haven't I? This looks great. When you're suddenly stuck without running water on a narrowboat, it's like the end of the world. But finding someone to help you, sometimes have to wait for days, weeks.
Alright, so that is your new one, which works.
I'm now stuck with about 300 quid bill that I wouldn't have had it not be for this faulty water pump. Oh yes. Ooh. Water at last. Right, just setting off from my mooring destination, Burnley Embankment. Before that, I've got a tunnel. It's not particularly wet in this tunnel, but I do have my waterproof jacket on just in case I get a soak in from any rainwater that works its way inside. But I should be okay, I think. Just got to avoid the set. Just on the right here is Slater Terrace. Back in the late 1800s, George Slater employed hundreds of people in Burnley. He had 3 mills here, and he set up some terraces here for his workers.
The 1861 census reveals that 12 members of 2 families shared just a few rooms in one of these cottages. Crossing the Calder and Brun valleys, Burnley Embankment was built as an alternative to lock flights.
This is canal building on a monstrous scale. It took about 6 years to build this, and it's just incredible. What a sight. It's definitely a really special feeling to be cruising at 4 miles an hour at the level of some of these rooftops. This is it. After 36 locks, many of them done in extreme heat. Finally here at this marina where I'm going to moor up for a few days and rest before the next leg of my great northern adventure. Sorry about that. Just full on crashed into that guy's boat.